must be bald in some spots. So
It's so interesting. Yeah, dudes with like the hair, I'm like, if they don't see it, like you do realize if it makes you feel that way, we can make it grow back. But they'll wait too long. You
yeah,
got to start to do that like right away. It's the opposite because I've had a lot of my hair grow clients talk to me about like they say, I guess with Rogaine, they say wait as long as you can to do
oh
it.
really?
I was like, well, we don't deal with chemicals here. This
Oh,
is the opposite. The
right.
longer you wait, the less hair we're
Mm.
going to get back. So as soon as you start to notice it thinning, and women are just smarter about that kind of stuff. Because if it's
Yeah.
happening with women, it's some kind of hormone issue. They just had a baby. A lot of people who got
Mm.
COVID, they had hair loss, and they came back, and it's back in like 2 months.
I don't know how long. I mean, I didn't know him then, but he's. I mean, he's had a ponytail, I guess, for several years. But I mean, he looks good with it. He looks good with it.
Yeah.
But
But it's like that you're only gonna lose more. It's not gonna keep growing back. So like
but
if you want to keep the ponytail, I would he's losing hair. It would be good to do it sooner than later. But not if he's gonna get angry about it.
yeah. So I just said, never mind. I didn't. I said, never mind. But I did tell him you when
But
to
he's
come out.
allowed to tell you
Maybe
that you gained weight. That's okay.
Yeah.
Tit for tat, literally.
Basically, he always wants me to make sure that everything's covered up with his ponytail. It's all one length, covers everything up. I have to check it all the time. It's funny.
That's cute.
So.
Well, I mean, he's a doctor. Just get his own jade machine. He can make it grow back himself if he wants to.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been. I feel it probably would come back. Maybe because I'm going to tell him now. We need to schedule you for a bowl session.
Yes.
So
that would be lovely.
So you
now
can see what it is and feel it, and he's really good.
Over.
He's really getting some clientele. He does three or 4 weeks. That's all he really cares about right now. And we're going to do some stuff in groups down the road. But
yeah,
this trip kind of came up, and
I love doing the bowl stuff in the water. So we used to do it on like yachts and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like we would be floating in the water and people get off the yachts like
oh my
experience. And I've seen other people do it with the metal bowls in Indiana in like creeks that is like hip waist high. That's amazing too. Anytime you can do it with the water, it's just it makes you feel like you're going into a portal. So yeah, tell everyone about Portugal.
Oh, where are we on now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm supposed to tell you about Portugal. So we found a trip. It's actually with Exotica Tours. They do a really, really super amazing job, very affordable. It's not super high-end luxury, and it's certainly not low-end. It's just very, very quality. We get super guides, and we went to Portugal. We found this deal that we weren't even looking for. We just got back, actually, in November. We took off and went to Morocco. That was our trip. But so, Portugal, long haul trip, took us about, we had a couple layovers, but it took probably about 14, 15 hours total. But I guess wine flows over there. One night we went to a dinner, and it was, what was it called? It's their music, their original folk music, and they actually, it's called a fado dinner. It's very lovely, original Portuguese food, and wine flows, red or white. They make all their own wine. 80%, this is interesting, 80% of all the wine in that country stays in the country for the people. They have some exports, but most of it stays in the country. And what I also like about their wine, you can tell I really like the wine. I do drink white wine, and I'm a dry wine drinker. Every one I tasted was excellent, just excellent. Because usually I have to go to wine that's, from New Zealand or Chile, somewhere down there, or even France, because ours tend to have some more preservatives, but they just don't have all those preservatives. So we drank a lot of white wine that night. The food was delicious, very Portuguese, whatever that means. They eat the same thing we eat, but it's a Portuguese. So the music was great. I couldn't understand it, of course, because it was in Portuguese, but it was really fun. So that was a fun night. And we also went to a wine tasting, and that was really, really fun, and saw how they made their wine. And so obviously you can see that was a hit. Everything's over there. It's just very, they don't have additives. All of it's fresh. That's probably one of the reasons why I didn't feel puffy and real puffy. Even though I hadn't been able to be here, I had to cancel last week. I came back with a very, very terrible cold, um, as I think a lot of people did after being away. But the funny thing was, I mean, the food was fresh right out. I've never had cod that you can, cod on bones. I've just never had that. It just came straight out of the Atlantic. So they have a lot of fishing over there. Um, just everything's cobblestone, lots of hills. It's like the beautiful pictures you see that look like almost like a painting. They're too beautiful to be true. Houses upon houses and buildings and winding streets and cobblestone. It looks just like that. People are very nice. It's affordable to live there. I know I have a friend who actually, an acquaintance more or less, she actually moved there. She was somewhere else in the country, so it was too hard to make a connection, but they actually moved there, and it's a lot less expensive. And that's what I found. I bought some really sweet shirts and some sweaters that were very, very affordable. I couldn't believe the high quality. And we went to some little shops along the ocean. We weren't like exactly on the ocean. Sometimes we'd be on rivers, but we could see the Atlantic most of the time. And the weather was really nice. 60s, 70s, be cooler a little bit at night, but it's very safe there. That was the other thing. It was just so safe. You didn't have to feel, of course, there's pickpockets everywhere you go, but it was just very, very safe. The fun part was we went to a restaurant and it was on a cobblestone side street, and it was a very narrow door, like half the size of our doors that you kind of walk through, and had a little real restaurant in the back. Once again, alcohol flowing. Really lovely very lovely Portuguese food. What that really means, I don't know. Spices taste different. We stayed at lovely hotels. We got in, had a great hotel, had a sauna, whirlpool, all that. We didn't use it. We were really beat. We just smashed and fell. And the nice thing about this particular tour, they're all different, the ones we go on, but the nice thing about this particular tour was that breakfast was always included. Everything was fresh. They had anything and everything buffet. You get to see about 25, 30 people in our group, and we got to know different people. And that's part of the fun thing about going on a group is that you get to learn more. Probably people were in their 40s, 50s, and on up there. But I think what's nice about it is that, and whenever I was in my 20s and 30s, those were my beach years. I'd take off to Cancun, Florida, islands, etc., Mexico, and just a different time in your life. So it's just kind of a fun thing. Not that I don't like beaches now, I still do, but it's we took some tours, went to small towns, just so much cobblestone. I've never seen so much cobblestone in my life. Easy to walk in. I wore hiking shoes, really sturdy hiking shoes, and that was really fun. And walking around, and we'd stop for lunch every day. We'd stop at dinner at night, and I said some of the tours we've gone on, it's nice to have all the food included, but this one we didn't. It was easy to get around. Plus the other two major tours I'd taken with this group was in Africa and North Africa, and it's really just much harder to get around, and you want to feel safe, especially we went to Egypt a couple years ago, and that was just a really, really nice tour. I think all the food was included, and it's just a very different country, and you can't drink the water. You can't drink the water in Morocco either, but you can in Portugal. So yeah, we just found this group a couple years ago, and it's really worked well for us. And you do a lot, we're up and down the country in a lot of buses. I used to think, oh, look at those older people in the buses, and now I'm one of them. But actually, not. They were all ages. There were people in our last trip, and the youngest ones were 40s, 50s. So it's I could fit into this tour pretty good. But yeah, it was really, I think, always the different fresh fruits, vegetables. They don't expect you to tip them. They get paid. it's very nice if they appreciate a tip, because it's more about, oh, you appreciated me, thank you. They were very gracious about it, but it's not necessary, and that is very amazing. We took Uber a couple times, and the highest you could tip was $2 or €2, and I thought that was amazing. And we didn't actually get enough euros when we went. We still had a lot of dollars, and they still operate. Of course, they operate on their country. It'd be like somebody handing you €5, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with it? But they were very gracious. A lot of interesting. Of course, they have a lot of cork over there. Cork trees grow rampant, and so they have jewelry made out of cork, purses. I didn't buy any of those, but very charming cork things for the kitchen, your house, everything made out of cork. It's very cool. What they came up with. Purses were like, and backpacks were just amazing, made out of cork. But I didn't bring much back. A couple really like duster type, a little sweater, some cute shirts that fit one, the flowy shirt. So those were fun and really affordable, very affordable. Here you go anywhere to buy a nice shirt or a sweater, $70, $80. Most of what I bought was between 20, 25. Just real cute. So we met people from all over. They kind of target, a lot of people from Canada were there, and we have friends now in Canada, and they also, Canada, UK. I don't know that I met anybody from UK this time, but just the guides are incredible. They're so knowledgeable. I think it's one of those things, although I've always done, even when I go to the beach, I'd go on little tours of wherever I was for fun, like in Mexico once. I'm sure a lot of you done this. We were in Cancun. We went over to the pyramids, Chichen Itza, 2 or 3 hour drive. Stopped at different cute little villages and had lunches and dancing and stuff, and alcohol, of course. But yeah, those are just different times for different lives. So, but yeah, the tours are just so nice. I remember once in another part of Mexico, we took some local tours, and those were fun. But this is your whole week spent with these people, and we have great guides. They are. His name was John, or I can't pronounce his name in Portuguese, but his name's John, and very, very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. And we also went to what I was looking forward to. We went to Our Lady of Fatima, where the Virgin Mary talked to the 3 children. They have a chapel built there and a church, and we stayed there. And depending on how you grew up, if you've ever been to any Catholic retreats overnight, it's funny, it could have come out of Indiana in our Catholic retreats. I've been to a number with retreats over the years for work. Sometimes we'd hold seminars there, and we'd have overnights, and I swear they all use the same blueprint, or in this case, white print, but very, very, very nice. So where things happen. And we went to a castle where, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the people, the Shriners, or I can't remember what it was. Actually came out when the Shriners, but just a lot of very spiritual community, for state, for sure, country, very spiritual. People are glad to see people. And when I also learned that probably the Portuguese themselves don't appreciate their own country as much, and think there's nothing special here. And that may be true about most of us. I don't know, although I do think the U.S. has a lot of special. I did not get involved in politics, which I rarely do anyhow. But a couple of people were trying to dig for information, and most of the people there were very just authentic people, and it's about our people, not necessarily what the top of our nation's doing, which we can't control. What they're doing or not doing, as it is in any country. And I've certainly met lovely people from Russia, lovely, lovely people. So that's one nice thing. You get a different perspective on all this, and meeting new people, different cultures, it does open your mind up. And lots of great pictures. I think probably the ocean, the rivers, very beautiful. Little mountains, you just see everything all built up. They tend to have the same different colors of houses, so you can see all the different buildings and structures. That a lot of blues, just very brilliant, very beautiful. Just like our country is very different in many of our parts of our country. It's very different for them as well. So it's very beautiful. Very beautiful jewelry. They like I didn't buy any jewelry or scarves, which is usually my go-to, which I've got plenty. Over time, you develop I've had to let a lot go, give them to friends, but I like the ones I use, so I've let a lot to let go. And I didn't buy any of those, but they have filigree gold jewelry, gold-filled jewelry. Very beautiful. A lot of beautiful, beautiful, stunning jewelry, which I didn't buy any, but. And so I know a lot of people are want to move to Portugal, and it works for many people. I like where I live. I mean, I grew up here, and I'll probably be here. And I stayed, families here, and about a lot of people I know have just moved over there. There's people who are American and other countries living there. Just cost of living is just a lot less. Rent is a lot less. I think you can buy a very nice apartment for usually furnished for like $700 or $800. You could go out for a nice meal at night or lunch. I think lunch might have cost $10. And here, surely you spend at least 20 unless you go. Even if you go to fast food, it's a lot of food. And I don't eat fast food hardly ever, unless I'm really desperate. There's not anything wrong with it. My body just doesn't tolerate it. And but yeah, it's really great prices. So wine is a lot cheaper too. Usually when I use my white wine, it's usually $10 to $12 a glass, and I think here it was like, I don't know, 5, 6, sometimes 3 or 4, depending where we were. But the nice thing is we got to stop by these small communities all through up and down the ocean, and very beautiful, different part of the Atlantic for sure. We were also at, what was it, the most southern part of Europe at one time, just based on how the land masses go. But we were I believe it was the most southern part of Europe, and that was kind of cool to see. What else? So much. It's just a lot of overwhelm. I miss certainly seeing Ella. But I was in pretty good shape to go. I walked a lot. And aside from being probably, when I got back, I was just really tired. But of course, I was able to hold my own. And I also noticed from the first time I was with Ella, because I had just really gained some, and those inches that I did lose just stayed. I mean, that's the beauty of this working with Ella, is that it comes off. And I asked her, she said, well, she really hadn't seen much of a difference, about the same, but I'm sure my hiking clothes, especially the pants, probably wouldn't have fit, or fit well. So I know they were a lot looser on me too. So I'll be excited to see where I'm next. I hope not for a while. I do like being settled, but it's been a fun couple of years. It seems like I've had, Jim's had more time since he was able to retire out. My schedule's more flexible. Ella told you before, I'm a reader. I do readings, past life regressions, intuitive life consultations, coaching related to spiritual. And so yeah, it's really nice. I can just kind of evolve. I'm starting to feel like, gosh, where'd Ella go? She's next door doing something else. So she's working on my neck today because I'm really been clogged up with this cold. She's got my, moving away from my Portugal discussion right now, but I came back, had a cold, Jim had a cold, blowing up stuff, coughing, I had laryngitis, and although I was working all weekend, but it's, I've got a lot of heat under me right now, so that's really helping, and also she put a really hot towel around my neck since I really have been coughing up a lot, and I've had a lot of issues since I was actually a child with respiratory, and she thought there was probably, what happens is you get to a point with internal scarring, that her methods just don't work as well, so you have to go in and heal out and kind of clear out that respiratory piece of the scarring. So that's partially what she's trying to clear out some things now, and of course we've got the belt and the vibration going on, and I can really tell a big difference last time. I'm still talking, Ella.
I knew you could.
You know I could.
I knew you could.
Anyhow,
that's why we hired you.
Thank goodness. I was telling her about my journey, what I'm doing today now. We moved away from Europe to here. And
oh, fun. Oh, wait, one more thing.
so I was telling me what you're doing to help get gunk out of me. So
I can already hear your voice is better.
It is good. Getting gunk out of me so I can live again. Yeah, certainly having, she's gone now. Certainly having the straps on is, it feels funny, but you get used to it. And the results are incredible. The first time we did it, my gosh, I lost like 11 inches. And that's part of the reason. Probably at the end, by the time we did leave for our trip, I think I probably lost, what I kind of calculated was probably about 20 inches. So it was amazing because I'd really put it on because I'd been in an accident probably about a year and a half ago and had a bad fall, not watching where I was going, and broke collarbones, broke my collarbone, broke some ribs, and kind of put me out for about a year and a half or more. She's back again. I'm still talking, but I really like it when you talk.
Hi, Sherry.
Your stories are a little more cutesy than mine.
Cutesy.
Although I can be cute when I was 20, but oh
You're
well.
so cute. You don't have to be 20 to be cute.
Yeah, when I had long, straight, blondie hair on my side, and oh God, that feels good.
We can make the hair grow back too, darling.
Huh?
So we can make the hair grow back too, darling.
Oh. Well, I was thinking about letting me go to one length again because it's been.
The collagen I take is so amazing. Did you ever get your collagen in?
I got it in right before, and I haven't started it yet because I started something else. But yes, it's sitting right there. That's the next on my list.
Because that will make your hair grow so fast.
What I was thinking about doing, I talked to my hairdresser again. It's been in layers, long layers for a long time, and bangs. But I used to have long hair. I just kept it shorter for the kind of work I did over the years, and I still wear it in a knot. It's go back to one length, down past my shoulders. So, but I wear it up a lot.
Still looking fresh. You don't have any scar tissue come back, so that's fabulous.
You said scar tissue, what about it?
So we didn't have any scar tissue come back, so
Oh.
that's fabulous. And of course we're going to start with the neck. Snatching up that neck today. So I met another really cool psychic from the South Side
Oh,
store.
really?
Yeah, she's a Life Cycle 33. She was hilarious.
Who is it?
Gosh.
Is it Lynetta?
No, not Lynetta.
Oh.
I've had a reading from her before too. I don't know. I took a picture of her card so I wouldn't
Okay.
lose it.
Yeah, we've
She
got
was
great
hilarious.
readers.
She started talking about wearing wigs in disguise, and I'm like, "You too? Okay, new bestie." And then she was like, "Also a Life Cycle 33." I was like, "Yep, new bestie."
Can't think who that is.
She's one of the regular ones down there. I think she said she's there twice a week.
Well, Sandy is.
Maybe it's Sandy. She has sandy hair and glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. And she's a hoot. She's a hoot.
She's funny.
Yeah. We like her.
She's about the same height as me, and maybe a little taller. And
yeah, I was like, once it's like nice out, I was like, I want to have a little like psychic brunch at like the RH with me and you and Joan and her.
Yeah.
I met her and I was like, yes.
If it's Sandy, it's just who I'm thinking of. I knew her. We went to Chesterfield together.
So
way
cool.
back in the day.
I love
this
it.
This was in the late 90s.
Wow.
Late 90s, late 80s, early 90s. That's when I went.
Yeah, she was hilarious. Like, you know, like I have I like it when people just say it how it is. You know what I mean? I don't like it when people are like hold back or they try to put it in proper words. I feel like that dilutes the message. Because a lot of times you don't know where like the message is coming from. Like, you got to say it how you heard it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, she was definitely doing that. Because sometimes when other people do reading, they'll say one thing and then I'll hear what they should have said. Does that make sense? Yes. I can hear the undiluted version. Right. Yes, just say it how it is.
And there's Darcy. She's got long, straight brown hair.
Hi, Alanya. I don't think I've had one from her before.
Yeah, she started probably maybe a couple of years ago. Sandy's been doing readings a really, really long time.
You could tell, yeah, she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she's
really good.
She studied a lot of different places, too. So yeah, I've known her a very long time. Were they trying to choke me or what? Oh.
Does it feel like I'm choking you?
Well, you were headed that way, but...
Wait, you're going to see her too, right?
What I liked about last time, it was like I could see my jaw again.
Yeah, a big part of a lot of people don't realize that why the bottom of their face looks older is a lot of times the neck. Especially people who've invested a lot of time and money in their face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just keep going back to those same areas, but they don't realize the full picture is like, yeah, if you tighten up the neck, that's a big part of why you don't see the jawline is because the neck is so loose. Especially, I see that more in people who've taken really good care of their skin and just either forgot the neck or if they forget the back of the neck. I've seen some people in the front of their neck still looks gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, especially the older ladies who've maybe worked in Macy's their whole life, so they've been using La Mer for 30 years or whatever. You know what I mean? But then they forgot the back of the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they've had shorter hair. So then the back of the neck, I can take a picture of the back of the neck and the front, and the back of the neck literally looks like 20 years older before you even start.
Wow. Well, that's why I like microcurrent so much over the years. And there was one I liked that was called Bella V, and it was, I don't know anybody much that does that around here now, but there was another one they did, a lot of massage therapists did it, but and they pulled out a lot of the lymph, but that's why I liked it so much, because I felt better.
Absolutely.
The lymph was flowing, and and so and then with you do both of the things I like. You do not only the microcurrent, but which helped a lot on the lymph.
So much people don't realize how much scar tissue they have built up in their body, and it doesn't have to be from like a surgery or an injury. Yeah. From repetitive motion, and repetitive motion can also be repetitive lack of motion.
So I'd gone, as you know, several months without anybody because my microcurrent person retired young and had a baby, and I found somebody else who did a lot of the lymph, and she did a great job. But it helped. She didn't go deep enough into the muscle, and that's what I think. I think it's just her style. She's really excellent.
Yeah, everybody has different styles. So I will tell people all the time, like, this is a results-focused treatment. It's not always going to feel comfortable. Right. And there's going to be other people, like, who prefer the lymph. Like, they don't care if they're going to look 20 years younger. Right. You know what I mean? They just like to, like, feel better. So, but if you want to look 20 years younger, then that's when you come here. And it is going to be intense, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And if if you're not going to go intense, then that's fine, but you're not going to get the same results.
Yeah, 20 years younger is plenty for me.
Yeah, we can get you to 20.
I don't really need to be 20 again. Well, right. I like to have my body back, but...
we're working on both right now. We're working on both right now.
I still have my last pair of blue jeans out. Bell bottoms from the 70s.
Really? Oh my gosh, I love bell bottoms.
Last pair, because I looked at them, saving them for my daughter I never had. But I saved them. Some smock tops. Oh yeah, late 70s.
I love that.
Well, I was in college, But yeah, I
I
think
think vintage is always in style.
it is. They look pretty beat up. I'm like, I wore those.
Now Y2K is vintage.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of creepy because I'm thinking I gave a bunch of stuff away from the '90s a couple of years ago. Some of those old, really with hoodie suits, real cute. So they were silk.
Ooh,
Really
yeah, I never gave away my velour tracksuits. Like, those were always in for me.
Oh, that's too
I
funny.
always thought they were cute. As long as and I would always get compliments on them. So it doesn't really matter what a trend is. Like, you can make a trend. It's really about confidence. And, like, if you look good in it, you look good in it.
Well, I liked them, but I was like, I just want to go on to something else. So I gave them to Thrifty Threads, and they made money, and somebody else was happy. Or maybe somebody resold them, who knows. But
Yeah, I love that. The Carmel's a great place to thrift here at the Carmel and Fisher's. We've got, like, two Goodwills in each. There's Amanda's Exchange. I get, like, the nicest stuff there.
A friend of mine goes to Amanda's Exchange all the time. I've never been in there.
I really love in Broad Ripple, the Toggery.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been there in years, but yeah, I always liked it.
That's the best place to get purses.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I also like.
But now, like, China's, like, exposing all this stuff about the luxury. I don't even know if it's going to be, like, in fashion to wear, like, designer. But it's okay because I got my own embroidery machine, so I'm just about to embroider all my own stuff.
Yeah, I've never been a high-end designer, not the $3,000 purse kind of person, but I do like nice things. As long as I look at. And I haven't been crunching my face so I get more lines under my nose and above my lips.
Good.
I've been good. I've been like, all right, I'm not doing that anymore. But I've noticed.
I have a client recently who's doing that because she's been annoyed with her husband recently. And I've worked on her face for probably 4 years. I'm like, what is this? I was like, when did this develop? And I was telling her about you. I was like, it's a brain thing. Okay, keep the mouth closed for a minute.
It's funny.
So we're getting out those little mouth lines. Hello, Outlaw. Hello, Ilana. Yeah, so some people will purse their lips out of, like, stress, out of not wanting to say things. I even had a lady who she realized she was doing it when she ran the vacuum. That was the only reason she was doing it. So, so much about whether it's, like, TMJ, like, everything that we're changing in our lives has to do with, like, behavior modification, right?
Yes.
So we can't fix what's going on in our brain. We're going to keep doing it, And it doesn't mean we're going to be able to fix it completely with behavior modifications at all, like all the way. But the more we do of that, then the less we have to do of other stuff, And there's a lot of healing that goes along with that. The issues are in our tissues, and it's very common for somebody to get, like, a series of stuff and that to, like, release trauma. They could freak out, want to take a couple months off because this is very much an energetic healing.
It is.
As well.
That's one of the reasons I'm here.
And it's interesting, like, stuff that will, like, pop up. I had some crazy dreams last night. I think it's still coming from the moon or whatever. Crazy, like, I was in Mexico.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember. I had so many. I was in Mexico and I was lost. And my phone wasn't hooked to international. And I was, like, trying to escape these things and, like, call my friend. And I was fighting people. It was like a whole video game.
Oh my gosh.
I was fighting people. I was, like, speaking Spanish, cussing people out in Spanish. Like, oh my gosh. It's a wild dream. I'm wanting to go back and climb this mountain too. I think, like, my cardio's been set for it, but maybe my dreams were like, now is not the time.
What mountain do you want to climb?
Tepoztlan. There's, like, a pyramid on top where, like, aliens landed and stuff.
Where's that at?
In Tepoztlan, Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
So the altitude was like 6,700 feet. It was super tall, like, compared to, because I think the Blue Mountains, like the Appalachia, is only like 3,500 or something. Whatever it was double what I was used to. And it was, like, making me sick. So I was like, I trained a lot of cardio to do it. And I've got some amazing skincare products that are, like, from, like, the jungle plants and stuff there that are so cool. And I ran out of them, so I was like, oh, it's time to go back. But then last night I had one of those nightmares that like you wake up and then you go back to sleep into, and then you keep doing that. And it was about like being lost in Mexico. So maybe we'll wait till next year. Maybe we'll wait till next year.
One of the coolest massages I ever had was in Mexico in the jungle.
Ooh.
I forget where we were. We were in Tulum, I think. And
Tulum's got all. It's like so much cool stuff there.
Well, I can't talk. Yeah, but it was out in the jungle. It was on our way back somewhere. They were offering this. I went out and it was in this little tiki hut or some kind. And of course, she couldn't speak English, etc., and vice versa. So, anyhow, but it was a great massage, laying out in the. You could see jungle and water all around, and very cool.
Yeah, I love massages in nature on the beach. That's fun.
Yeah, I can really tell a difference in under my eyes too.
Oh yeah, people don't realize like what a big deal that is, because a lot of times they'll have to get like blepharoplasty, like for not being able to see. You know what I mean? And that can be caused by not just like the lids like falling down. That can also be caused by like eye bags getting too big and closing your eyes more. So, you know, in surgery world, that would be considered an upper blepharoplasty and a lower blepharoplasty. Those would be two different things, and this takes care of both. Plus your face, plus your neck, plus your brow line, all that. Also, when you get surgeries, you're creating scar tissue, and you're cutting through like nerves and capillaries, arteries, and stuff like that. They don't sew all those individually back together. So this is always like a healthier route. Or if you are going to do surgery, everybody's different. That's cool. We like to support you just the way you are. It would be a wise idea to do a series of these beforehand, because you're going to get everything working a lot better. It's going to be a lot easier for your surgeon. And then come in within like 48 hours afterwards, so we can accelerate the healing.
Wow.
Move, you know, get all the circulation, the lymph flowing. It's a very gentle treatment, much different than the face sculpting on people who aren't post-surgical. Very gentle. It really just focuses on tightening the skin, boosting circulation, lymph drainage. And the frequencies do most of the work, so that's lovely. Yeah, I broke my toe a couple weeks ago, and I've probably done like 3 treatments on myself.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm already like back in normal shoes. So I've done this, but I've also been grounding outside, like walking barefoot on like the cold grass and stuff. That has really helped a lot. And then hopefully I can get back in heels in another week.
Oh, wow. How high are the heels you wear?
6 inches.
Oh, my God.
With platform.
Oh, my God.
I have like a high arch, like with the autism. I was like a toe walker. So I'm actually better in heels than I am in like tennis shoes.
I don't think I've ever worn that high. 3 or 4 inches.
You're already pretty tall though.
Well, that's true. But I like heels. But I wear them now just occasionally. To
see, you in 3 and 4 inch heels is still going to be taller than me in 6 inch heels.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah. So like when I've shopped with my tall friends, like they would wear the kitten heels. I'm like, you don't even understand, because you're like not the, like when I would go to networking events, if I don't wear heels, like my eyes are even with most girls' tits.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So people don't even realize that I'm there if I don't wear heels. If I'm wearing heels, I'm still only 6 inch heels. I'm still only like 5'8". Like, if you're 5 inch heels and you're 5'5", you're still taller. But it's funny that it's always fun to go shopping with a friend that's like, you know, different than you. You know, you have the different perspectives and stuff. Different sizes, different heights. But that's one of the lifestyle services that we offer. We can go take people shopping, show them what like fits their body, and you know, We can do that virtually with like Amazon.
That's cool.
Or we can do that. I like to go thrifting because I feel like thrifting is it's just a fun way as long as people aren't weird about other people's clothes, but you know, it's easier to teach people about their own unique style when you have more options than whatever is just popular this season. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I really do like to go to like thrift stuff. I feel like it teaches people how to dress themselves better than if you're just going to a boutique and there, there's 20 dresses and however many sizes, Okay, relax. This is the side everybody's been clenching on. So weird. Relax. Tranquilo, mami. We pretend we in Tulum.
A lot of knots. My gosh.
A lot. I do have one of the waist trainers in that might fit you. So
What do you mean waist trainers?
What I'm wearing right now.
Oh.
So you wear it and it wear it when you stretch, when you're on your vibration plate. It's like when you wear it, it's like it helps you do Pilates while you're wearing it.
Oh, wow.
And these are so well built. Like, it's not just like a corset. I've had so many expensive corsets that the boning comes out. These ones I've worked out in the infrared sauna. You just want to hand wash them and let them air dry. But she brought in 2 sizes. So I knew you were coming back. I would definitely wear them when you're doing readings and stuff. It'll help to take a lot of stress out of like your shoulders.
Yeah, I was really I'm still not really still working to get my everything back from that crushing fall I had, and this weekend I did readings 2 days plus an event. It was a party.
What was the event?
It was a party. It wasn't a big event. It was a specialty birthday party for a group of women.
Oh, fun!
It was fun. They were all dressed as goddesses when I went in.
So cute! I love it.
Oh, I love it. I said, I didn't know because it was kind of a last minute thing.
Did they do it at the store?
I went through the store to do it. No, they did it at their home.
Oh, nice! I love it.
So I do a lot of home events, specialty events.
That's fun.
Yeah, and the thing was, because of the time, they had like a last minute cancellation from somewhere else that, and so I was able to do it. And they had called. They were really desperate. But anyhow, it worked great. And I said, God, I should have worn my goddess clothes. They said, you did. I did. I looked at them and I had on a ruffled skirt, and I had on everything I had on, shawls and the whole bit, complemented their stuff perfectly.
Oh, I love it. You didn't even realize till the
No.
end. I love it.
It was funny. They were real cute. They were a group of women. They were mostly in their 30s, a wide range. But the interesting thing is, they're very competent from the business world. But they would rather. But they were so like us. It was like, oh my God, I love these people.
So how many girls was it?
5. So
that's a perfect number.
So we had a very in-depth readings for everybody. It was very lovely.
I love that. Did everybody like to listen to everybody's reading?
They all listened to each other. And
that's fun.
And they're a close-knit group. It wasn't like, oh my God, I don't want anybody to know my husband's going out on me.
Well, I love that because I've had groups like that come back every year, and when you have groups like that, they really listen to it to help support each other to make good decisions.
They do.
You know what I mean? That's why they want to do it, which I love that, So
it was really fun.
And if they really know each other, they're always like, how she knows,
right,
you know what I mean? How does she know exactly?
It was really nice. They were very complimentary, So anyhow, I could have probably used the corset or something because, I was...
When you're sitting there that long, yeah, absolutely. So hopefully she brought me 2 sizes, and the last one of them fit the last girl perfect. I thought it was going to be a little big. So I think the other one will fit you perfect.
Well, I know.
And you already have the curves. This is just when you are sitting for a long time, gravity pulls you down like a potato.
Yeah.
So it's going to help to lengthen your waist and shift everything to where you want it.
Wow.
And it will help to separate the lower spine too. You know what I mean? It helps to separate that, give it space. So I just feel you don't want to wear it every day, but I know if I'm doing a lot of things or today is my lady day, so I definitely wore it. And I couldn't find my smaller one. Um, but this one's still good. So I have like a size large and a size like medium. The medium is like the medium's the smaller one because the medium on this one, my boobs won't fit in it. But this was a little loose, so it's good to have them a little loose for like lady time. See how snatched. So yeah. If you guys want one, they're so amazing. They last forever. They come in black and they come in nude. So we do have them. It is the season for them. We usually get them about like one time a year. Hopefully, we'll get so busy with these that we won't have to have a season for them anymore and we can have them all the time. So, and she makes like cute ones. I'm like, look, anytime you make like a cute like designer, I got one that's like, it's like red and it kind of looks like Christmas wrapping paper. It's like almost like a Burberry pattern, but red and green. So cute. I think that one's probably too big for me now. But she can always take it in. She makes some really, really cute like latex ones, but they're like China sizes.
Oh my gosh.
So the extra large starts at like the medium in extra large starts at as a medium in American sizes. But they go all the way up to 8X in American sizes.
Oh my gosh.
And wow, just when if you're up to like an 8X, 6, any of those X sizes, just having a support to hold your belly up and to have better posture is going to help you lose so much more. If you can breathe better, a lot of people don't realize that you burn more fat when you're like breathing, you know? So wear that extra day every day, you know, every other day at least, when you are that size and just walking, moving. Highly recommend the vibration plate. You can get that from my Amazon storefront. Can be absolutely life-changing with, you know, very little effort. And then you just, you know, make those little baby steps every day, shifting our lifestyle. We always have more success when we're making baby steps. Long-term success, you know. So with like the body sculpting, the face sculpting, this is where we make those big jumps. But then how we keep our results long term is like all the tiny little habits that we do every day. And
like not pursing.
Like not pursing.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of the answer to get what we want is not so much doing more. It's like what could we stop doing that will get us what we want.
Ugh. Not. Oh my God.
I know you're pretty good about not pursing until we get to this side.
I know it. I know. But I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, those pursing muscles are extra strong in this one.
Ugh.
Relax, relax, relax.
I need to hypnotize myself before I do this part.
That would be great.
It doesn't hurt. It's just it's.
Well, I wonder if you hypnotize yourself, like what? Could you hypnotize yourself in like a past life or childhood, like in a way that whatever psychosomatically is causing this?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That would come out. You know what I mean?
It could. You know, it really could.
Because sometimes I will get like visions of stuff when I'm working on people, like this, if this came from like a past life or a childhood stuff. If it came up from a childhood thing, I don't say anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good
if it came up from a past life, then there's another kind of layer of, you know what I mean? Or if somebody comes out, you know, I always let people know it's okay to like cry. We did a dry needling on one of my girls last week. And I just had a feeling that day, she does do live streams, but I was like, God, today I don't feel like we should live stream. And we should do a micro needling on you. She never done a micro needling before.
How'd
But
that go?
man, she was bawling. she was like she needed that release. It wasn't just from that, but sometimes, especially if you're a very like strong person and you're used to just always doing stuff, we don't like give ourselves the time or space to like cry.
Right.
So, hurt yourself a little bit, like stab yourself with tiny needles, like micro needling, and it can get the tears going and then like let them keep going. You know what I mean? Like, this is always a safe place to do that. When I put her under the microcurrent, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you like 20 minutes to cry. Use all 20 minutes of that and purge that out, because, especially if you're like a business person, you're a parent, you really got to schedule that time and then make the most out of it, because you got other stuff to do. But when you hold out that stuff in, it will store up in our face and our body, in the form of looking worse or, actual physical pain. So it's really important to get that stuff out. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about when we talk about holistic healing. It's from a body, a mind, and a spiritual space.
See, a lot of people, they really don't realize that, because they just look, an esthetician, pretty.
Right, exactly,
Our
yeah.
skin, and that's
The
it.
pretty really does come from like the inside out, you know what I mean? And I've worked on people who are some real energy vampires too, and it's like, wow, they look like 10 years younger afterwards, and I look 10 years older. Like, what the heck is going on? And I feel like some people like know that they're like that, but some people don't.
You're right.
Sometimes it'll come from like childhood trauma. They don't know where that's coming from, but they just are like that. They're just like a drain, like a life sucker. We named them something else. So like an energy vampire knows that they're draining your energy. Those are freaking real, right? And then you have a Sasquatch. A Sasquatch is a type of energy drain, but they'll just be like sitting in your space, like dumping their negative dark energy into your place. Does that make sense? Like they come to your house or come to your space and be like I'm sure like psychologists deal with a lot of Sasquatches, right?
That's why I read a lot in my home. I have a home office. It's more like downstairs. But you know what? Most people, I just say, go to Inner Path.
Right, because that place has got so many crystals. Like, I mean, that's why when I really started getting more of a higher demand for energy work and stuff, we got the crystal walls. We've got organite pieces that I Reiki bless, and every time we're doing a blessing with the bowls, and they're getting blessed all day, and that helps in a way that I can't even explain. It helps me be able to work longer, because without having those other place, and people are on the biomats with the PEMF, that's draining, that's pulling that stuff out of them, so it doesn't go through me so much as a healer.
Well, that's right. And one reason I take them there is, number one, it's more, because if I'm in my home, it's easier for them to want to hang out and talk more and ask more.
True.
And so this way I can say, well, our time is up and I have another client, which I typically do. So it's very different. And also, sometimes it's safer, honestly, to be in a public place than some people I've had. Well, I'm not sure. So, but yeah, I do more. I'm going to be doing more online work. But it's which I do a lot of phone anyhow. But yeah, we have to really watch our energy fields big time.
Yeah, people would be like, because the spa is in the top of a house. People would be like, do you live there too? Oh, never. Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. I would never live and work in the same place. Plus, I'm much more organized and clean at work, because I'm cleaning literally like all day.
Right.
All day. Like, there's never dishes in the sink. There's never... I do laundry 1,000 times a day. I'm wiping things down with medical grade disinfectant 1,000 times a day. So...
Well,
I have dogs. Like, you don't have dogs, like, I mean, I love dogs, but like, dogs are not appropriate for spa things. You know what I mean? Sometimes I will do my face, like the jade, when they're like at the house and chilling, but yeah, nobody wants to come and try to relax, and my dogs are like, let me hump your leg. Like, no. I always thought it would be cool to have like, the same property where it was like a dog spa, like on one side, like a dog hotel and spa on one side, like 2 different buildings though.
Wow.
And then like your spa here. So then people can bring their pets, stay for a week, get snatched, get that face snatched, get that body snatched. But I don't want to do anything with the dog stuff. I just wanted to find somebody else to do that and be
Exactly.
next door to me. I don't want to be in charge of any of that. I got enough to be in charge of.
Well, that's worked for me when I had an office because I was always working higher ed, so I'd go to my office. So I was always cleaning and organizing that there, and everything at home was separate. Now it just kind of, I'm telling you, it runs together. So it's like, oh my God, I've never seen so many piles, and it's just like I just think, oh, I don't want to do that. So
Like at my house, you would think that I like never do laundry or I do it like once or twice. But I'm doing like 7 loads of laundry a day here. You know, like at least 3. So my laundry stays clean at the house. It's just all in a clean pile on the chair most of the time.
Yeah, I have that too. Ooh, I must really be knotted back there. God.
Oh yeah, we haven't finished.
I know it, but I'm cringing. I'm screaming inside because, God, it doesn't hurt. It's just.
You're like, why is there all that stuff in me?
Exactly.
Get out of my face faster. What's taking so long?
So why is there so much junk back there?
Poor life choices are part of it.
Oh,
but
you
also
mean
just
married, you mean?
that could be it. You know what I mean? Not doing yoga. You know, everybody, I feel like in America, everybody's always looking for like one reason.
Right.
And the one reason is there's multiple reasons. That's
Right.
the only one reason that you're going to get. And it's always fun to kind of go backwards where I'll be like, okay, did you get in a car accident? You know, like your first time I was like, were you sick?
Several.
You know what I mean?
Really sick.
Those little knots, those
Right.
little edges, I mean, it looks like you got shot in the neck with like a buckshot or something like that. That's what those scars look like.
Yeah, I've been hit. I mean, hit from behind, crushed, and
yeah. So all of
really
those things are gonna. If you don't fix it and get rid of it, it doesn't go away. Like you'll heal and stop being in intense pain.
right.
But there's always gonna be those memories of trauma like in your tissues until you
Right.
do something to get rid of it.
That's what people don't realize. I mean, even I am continually amazed at all the stuff that comes out. And I've been
Right.
working on it a long time, and I'm like, oh my God. But even working with you, a lot more layers have come out.
Oh yeah, and I mean I've been using this specific machine on myself for 11 years, and still stuff will come out. You know what I mean? Just depends on what are you doing. Are you constantly moving your body? Are you drinking enough water? Have you been sick? Any viruses? Any this? Any that? All of that kind of stuff can contribute. You know, have you been drinking too much? Whatever. All of that kind of stuff can contribute to why and what builds up in your face, and it's, you know, the more you live, the more, and the older we get, if you're not taking stuff to help and you're not moving more and doing those things, then you're just going to get more buildup in the body. So, all right, she is all done. Also not. Love you guys so much. I don't know why on this phone, like, after about 30-40 minutes, like, it doesn't show me the chat anymore. So, anyway, love you guys. And we will be back with Miss Sheila Megan Pocahontas tonight at 4 p.m. if you'd like to join us for that. And let me know if you want to put an order in for these waist snatchers. And I am going to be doing I think I'm going to do my face a little later. And we're going to talk about everything that's going on with China. Yeah. Because that's like an interesting thing. We're going to be looking at it from what is an objective point of view. This is not like a political thing. Like bitching about politics is not going to change anything. We're going to talk about like what is currently going on and how that's going to like impact our daily lives as, you know, business people. How can we use it to our advantage? Bitching about stuff is not going to bring anything positive into your life ever. So we're going to look at it like an autistic, objective businesswoman that I am and, you know, ask some questions. Learn a little bit. So that'll be later tonight. All right. Well, I love you guys so much. Make sure that you're subscribed. Turn on all of your notifications so you know when I come back. And we'll see you again later today. Bye.